Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about 7 things you need to look out for in a man. That man you want to be your husband, these are the points that you need. Okay, so before I begin, there are 2 things I would like to emphasize, before I tell you the points. One, so many times people focus on, that person, should he be, is he meeting all these criteria? And we don't kind of think about ourselves. Are you the kind of person, that kind of person you're looking for once? Yeah, because we are focused on getting this person. How are their qualities? Are they kind? Are they all these nice things? But for you, have you evaluated? Self-awareness is very key in this process, because if you write down a list of those things that you want in that partner, write down, list them all. Now put your name above it. Is that the kind of person that you are? I think that's a very big thing that we need to think about. So even as I share these points to think about, just think through yourself. Are you the kind of person that person you're looking for once? I think that will guide you on just becoming better on your journey. The second thing I want to emphasize, you can't marry the right person if you're dating the wrong one. And I've shared this time and time again. Dating should lead you to marriage. So if we are just dating for fun, etc., you'll end up with the wrong person, and then you begin regretting and saying, because now you've been dating for 5 years, then marriage seems like the obvious time, to get marriage seems like the obvious step if you've been dating for 5 years. So you don't want to waste time. You'll end up with the wrong person. So when you're going into dating and you've accepted this person, maybe has asked you out, please make sure that this is the kind of person you want to marry, because if you date the wrong one, you will definitely marry the wrong one. Yeah. So those are 2 points I want to emphasize before I share with you the points. So the first one, you need to look for a man who is intentional. Guys, intentionality. Someone was sending me a DM. Yeah, guys also send me DMs saying, I'm trying to pursue this chick, but as if she's not interested in me. If I don't call her for 1 week, she also doesn't call. I'm like, the men of these days, why aren't you pursuing? Why are you giving up after 1 week? As in, show intentionality, show that you actually know what you want. There are so many men these days, the ladies keep saying the streets are tough. They are not clear. They are beating about the bush. Be intentional. Light bulb moment is Lisa. Did you know that no matter how hard you try, you can't move your upper teeth? That's how some of you are in marriage. Refusing to adjust. Me, that's how I am. Move! So as I share these points, I'm going to use Steve as an example because, he's the best man that I know. So unfortunately, bear with me. Yeah. So I was studying in UCU, Mukono. And Steve, of course, was working this side, in Tinder side. But let me tell you, Steve would come all the way. Be it a work day, be it what, he would come all the way to Mukono to see me, to check up on me, to just show that he's intentional and he knows what he wants. But men of these days don't want to put in effort. They want easy things. She's not calling me after 2 days. No, give things time. Yeah. So that's one thing you need to look out for, is the man really going out of his way to show you that he's interested in you. He needs to actually pursue you. So that's the first point you need to look out for. The second thing is that you want a man who is sure of his identity, like he knows who he is. Have you guys ever dated someone who's insecure? Oh my God, a man who is insecure you can't deal, because you see, if he's not aware of who he is in his life, then he's not going to allow you to thrive in what you do, because he's intimidated by you, he's threatened by you, he's wondering why you're going for a master's because he doesn't have, or he didn't allow you to go places because he thinks, where is that beautiful girl going? Like, he's not sure of who he is in your life, but also in his identity. Let me tell you, one thing I really love about Steve is he's sure of himself. And of course, that sureness, or surety, of course it comes from somewhere. It's really rooted in God. Like, when you know who you are, then you're not threatened by external things, yeah? I keep giving an example of Deborah was a judge, and they say she was a wife. She was a wife to a certain husband. We do not know what the husband did, but she was a judge. So there is that level of being sure in yourself that you're not threatened by what your girlfriend is, her position, her title. You know who you are. Steve always tells me a lion is not moved by the opinion of sheep. Even when I'm telling him, oh my God, this person said this and things like that, it's just like, babe, know who you are. Is it the truth? If it's not, do not be moved by it. And even with him, you know, one day he was sharing our story of how we met, and he was saying, I looked at this girl and she was out of my league, but I was like, let me reach out to her, you know, being so confident in who you are, regardless of, I don't know, color, regardless of size, regardless, you are sure of who you are. And I think that's the beautiful thing about being with Steve, is that he's so secure in himself, and he allows me to bloom. He allows me to thrive. He's not threatened by, you know, all these things that, you know, now people say Lisa's husband. But are there men who can allow to be called Lisa's husband? They'll be like, Sha, you know, why don't you have my name? Why aren't you? Be sure in who you are. So if you're dating those guys and you see that he has a bit of insecurity, he's not aware of himself, it may be a problem. The other thing that I feel is very important in a man is a man who is planted in community. You guys, if a man has no accountability, if you see the kind of environment he's in is not as good, it will affect you. If you marry this person, it will definitely have an effect on your marriage. So is this man, you know, planted in church? Does he have other godly men he talks to? Who is pouring into him? Because we have so many people who are in marriages and the man will refuse even to go for fellowship. So if you have a challenge, then he has no room to express what he's feeling. You have no room to get any sound advice on and things like that. So it will definitely rock your boat. So if you see a man who is planted in community, you know, who is serving, who has a good, you know, environment around him, who are his friends, what kind of family is he coming from, you want to make sure that, you know, that's the kind of person you want, a good environment around him. So that in case he's straying, in case he's lost, there are people who are going to guide him. So I've found that that thing is going to help him. There are certain things that I know Steve will never do because the kind of family he has, how is he going to say he did, you know, they will hold him accountable. So please make sure that you watch and pray. Watch, see, you know, and yeah, keep these things in mind. The other thing to look out for is a man who is strong in character. Let me tell you, there are men out there who are showing you their true self, but you're like, oh, maybe I'll change him. Maybe, but he's only kind to me. Kasta is kind to me. Let me tell you, if he's rude, if he's unkind to people around him, then it's going to be a problem, because that time he's kind to you, but as time goes on, he will show you his true nature. So is he a kind man? Is he a good man? What do people say about him when he's not there? That's the stuff that you're going to need, you know? So Steve is a good man. Let me tell you, sometimes I'm just like, he's so generous. He has such a big heart, you know? He sees the good in people. And that's the kind of person you want. So that even when things go wrong and you made a mistake or you've done something, he knows your true heart. He knows your nature, you know? So he's not going to lash out or things like that, because he knows and sees you. So please, make sure that you check which kind of man you are dating. And one thing I really love about Steve is he's such a peacekeeper. And there's a verse I want to read. And there's a verse, you know the Beatitudes, and I think they talk about blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Oh, if you have a peacemaker, someone who sees the good in people, always tries to manage conflict, he's always, let me tell you, that's the kind of person you need. Because I've seen lots of men who are just troublemakers, cantankerous, full of drama, and you're just like, hey, what's going on, you know? So even when I bring certain things to Steve, I tell him, this person has hurt me, this person has annoyed me. He's always realistic. He's not always trying to defend me. He's always trying to see what's the truth, you know, in the whole matter. Now that's a good man. But if men are there, you just listen to your wife for wrong things, foolish things, you just accept, you know. You don't want that kind of man. So even men who just want to make you happy, you know that thing where men just want to make you happy? It's like, I don't want to hurt her, so they will just cover things. You don't want that kind of person. You want someone who will tell you the truth with love, because you know that person is really for you. So search for those men who are good men, who have noble character, who can be relied on, who are loyal. Those are the men that you want. And the only way to see them is if you give things time. If he's only kind to you, then there's a problem. If he's shouting at waiters because the food is late, then there is a problem, yeah? So please keep that in mind. So I want to mix these 2 points. Being intelligent and interesting. Are you able to have conversations, with this man? Because you want to take sex and money off the table. What value is he adding to you? Because sex and money can confuse us, The guy is rich, he has money, he's providing your hair. You're like, oh, amazing, So you can become blind towards those things. I remember I put out a poll on my Instagram recently, and I was just asking people, is infidelity a deal breaker in marriage? And some interesting answers came by. But one person said, if there is money, it's kawa, I will stay. But you're just thinking about, is money the thing? So if you have money, thinking about money all the time, then you'll not be able to see this person for who he is. Can you have a conversation? I remember when Steve and I were dating, he came by to Mukono around evening, and we were in the car and we jazzed till morning, like literally. He came about maybe 7 and we jazzed till 6. I was like, hey, I don't remember what we're talking about, but he made me laugh. He was interesting, he's intelligent. People who you can't have conversations with, like if it's, hey, hello, how are you? After that, you're just looking around. Can you hold conversations with one another? And I've seen that different people have intelligence levels. You find this person is way up there, and for you, way down here. He's trying to tell you about politics. For you can't manage. That person may be a bit too much for you sometimes. Or just get someone who has kind of similar interests with you. I think that's the thing that will help you. I remember when Steve and I, the first day we met, I was ushering at a wedding. And, he came up to the ushers, he's like, push up. And we began to talk. I don't remember what we talked about, but all I know is that I laughed so hard. That hearty laugh, the laugh that comes from the heart, where you're like, this is joy. That's how I remember he made me feel. So if you're dating someone, just think about, is he interesting? Is he intelligent? Can you hold a conversation with him? Or you'll be there and people asking him questions and you're answering for him. Auntie now, auntie, you know that. You're like, no, what he meant is, please, he should be able to speak up for himself. Think about that. The other thing that you need to think about is, will he be a good father? Now, I know it seems so far-fetched, but you remember that this person is going to give you seed. This person is giving you seed, is contributing to the seed. So when you look at him, is this the kind of person who's going to be a good father? Does he have that love? Think about his background. Where is it coming from? Is it full of trauma? Because all these things can be passed down to your children, or the kind of man that is. Many times we just think about your relationship, you and him, and you forget that this person is going to be the father of your children. So he's kind of contributing to the destiny of your children. So think about those things. Consult. What's his family like? History. When he's around children, does he welcome them? What kind of person is he? And we keep telling people that, of course, boys shouldn't play with dolls, etc. But I've realized that if we only keep nurturing, you see that the girls are holding dolls, they're learning to look after them, etc. They're preparing to be good mothers. But then the fathers, the boys, not allowed to have any doll. But I've learned that if they nurture them somehow, then they get to learn that this is part of their role as well. Like just being present in the lives of children. So I think it's something to think about. Will he be a good father? It's not just about you, it's about generations to come. And then finally, my last point is, does he bring out the best in you? You've been dating this person 2 years. How have you improved in life generally? Does he encourage you? Does he allow you to be better? Does he motivate you to be better? I think that's something that you need to think about. One thing I've learned from Steve, I've already talked about, he's a good man and the character he is. He has taught me to live in abundance. Oh my God. There's a certain peace that Steve has that I just don't understand. Like, it surpasses all understanding. He is not moved by external pressure. He is not moved. So he's always teaching me, learn to let things go. He's already teaching me, learn. Now, I used to like conflict, like, no, let me address this thing. But as I've, been with him for some time, I realize I'm now a peacemaker. I would sometimes be like, Steve wouldn't allow me even to confront this person. Let me just leave the things. So he's helping me to become better, even in my character, even with my spending, even with my generosity. When you sit back, you've been dating this person, and you kind of evaluate, have you become a better person? Or is he making you worse? He's making you live your value system. He's saying, it's kawa. This is just a small thing. Before you know it, you're no longer the Christian girl that we used to know. Now you're just lukewarm or cold. So evaluate if this person is making you better. So those are some of the things that I thought I would share with you when you're looking for a kind of man to marry. Keep them in mind. You might have your own list out there. Make sure that the list that you have, you can also put your name out there. That you kind of, have those characteristics that you're looking for. My name is Lisa Kusima. I hope you found value. Please leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe. It's free, guys. It's free. I'm always here to inspire.